How are you doing, friends and neighbors? Welcome to another edition of the Chronicles. Jedi Phoenix with you here once again. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of the content that I got on the channel. Anything that I got coming down the pike. A lot of lightsaber content if you're into that. And little sprinklings of everything else here and there. So, one thing I do have coming down the pike was actually suggested by a viewer on one of my other videos about doing a demonstration of the different sound fonts on the sabers and the colors when it gets darker out. Kind of like a darkroom demo, for lack of a better term. That is something I am planning on doing, so I thank you for the suggestion on that. The problem is, well, it's not really a problem, but it's something I just have to deal with, is finding the time to shoot the videos. When you're a solo parent with 4 kids, 3 times a premium, but anybody out there who's a parent knows exactly what I'm talking about. But no, that is something I will be doing, and I will be uploading on the channel as time allows, so stay tuned for that. One thing I do have for you today, I've already done the unboxing of this one twice, but this is my Heirloom from Rebel Sabers. This is the Neopixel that I picked up. Let me give you a look at it before I get into the particulars about it. I really do believe that if you're going to have a collection of lightsabers, you should have a Neopixel in there. It doesn't have to be whatever hilt you want. The trick is to plan ahead, to budget ahead, because unfortunately the Neos are not cheap. But, plan ahead and pick out the one that you want that's best for you yourself. The reason I went with the Graflex, or the Heirloom, the reason I went with this one is because, as I mentioned previously in the unboxing, this is the one that is shown in all the trilogies. But more than that, this is also the very first lightsaber that we see in all of Star Wars. Not Ben's, not Vader's. This is the one. The first one we see on screen, the first one that we see lit up in all of its glory. So all of the awesome lightsaber content that we know from Star Wars starts with this one. And given that, I really couldn't see how I couldn't have this one as my first, maybe my only Neopixel. Whether I have another one down the road, we'll see. But if I do have more than one, this one had to be the first. Okay. One thing I do love off the bat, keeping with its history, you see Graflex written on there. And the reason for that is, the reason they call this the Graflex is because the camera that, the flash attachment that the prop guys took for the lightsaber in the original Star Wars, the model of the camera was the Graflex. So, a little bit of a nod to the legacy there, which I do like. So, what can I tell you about this? One thing I have to say, if you're not used to Neopixels, when you pick one of these up, you're going to notice the weight in the blade. See, it's not cumbersome to use. Once you start swinging this around, you don't notice the weight. Okay, it's not. I don't mean that it's too heavy to use, but if you're only used to whether it's LGT or any other company that just has the RGB in the hilt with a regular tube for the lightsaber blade, you will notice the weight difference. Okay, so you need to not be ready for that, but be aware of it. I don't do this one only because I'm scared to death of taking the blade out of action. I know that these are the real ultra heavy grade blades, and they are meant for dueling, but replacement blades are not cheap either. You're looking at about $90 on average for a replacement blade. And knowing my luck, I'd whack it once and then, crack the LEDs in it, and that'll be all she wrote. So I don't want to do that. So this one, I keep the blade in it so that I can, swing it around. I don't keep this on the shelf. but I don't deal with it either. The other thing I do need to tell you about the Graflex style sabers, if you're not used to them, is the hand grip. You have these plastic ridges, for lack of a better description. If you're not used to it, it might feel a little awkward. And this saber on the whole, I don't think is ideal for the whirling and twirling, unlike some of the other sabers, because not only you have the grip here, you've also got the switch box here, you've got the little knob here, you've got the thing for the clamp here. I mean, you probably could, if you were a veteran at it, you probably could, handle the whirling and twirling without a problem. But for swinging this around is okay. I find, this is just me personally, I find that if you keep your hand right about here, let's see if I can give you a good angle of that. Right here is ideal for me when it comes to swinging this around. Okay, normally up near the emitter is an ideal choke point, but not for this. I find that right about here, you got a good grip. And similar to the Dark Legacy that I reviewed in a different video, that's a Darth Vader saber. Sometimes the switch box digs into my palm. If you're having that problem, just get a decent set of gloves, which I've shown those off in a different video as well. Put the gloves on, you're not even going to feel it. But on the whole, this is a beauty of a saber. It really is. I think that whether it's Rebel Sabers or any other replica company, you should have a Graflex in your collection, because, like I said, it is the first one. This is the alpha of the lightsabers, I think. The one thing, this also comes with a lot of sound fonts, so I'm not going to demonstrate all of them in this video. I will do a separate video. Again, the darkroom demo. Maybe I'll start with this one. My first darkroom demo will be with this one, showing off all the fonts and all the different characteristics. But I'll show you a little bit about it. Right now I got the Obi-Wan font, or the General Kenobi, on here. Everything, by the way, is all done with the switch box, the button in here. So if you press it and hold it, shut it off, push it again, and it goes on. And for the smooth swing, this is real responsive. I'm trying to hold it close to my mic, that way you can hear it. Even more responsive than the regular RGB in-hilts. And it is fun to swing around, I gotta tell you. So, there's the blaster shots. I hope you can see, if you're not, with the RGB hilt, the whole blade flashes, whereas with the Neo, I think it's right around here. It's like, like a point on the blade. And then flash on clash, and then learning the controls does take a little bit of time. I haven't even mastered all of them yet. As far as changing the color goes, you have to hold the button and then hold the saber down and then kind of snap your wrist. Let me see if I can do that here. Okay. So now all you gotta do is rotate the saber and it goes through the full spectrum. So right about... Now the other tricky part is you gotta snap the blade again once you get the color you want. Hang on. pause this 1 minute. Okay, we're back. I had to pause the video that way I could really, get us back on track. Like I said, learning the tricks with the button. I'm still working on that. So, would I recommend this one? If you're solely into spinning and dueling and whatever, it might take you a little bit of time to get used to how the Graflex feels in your hands. If you're just looking for a collector's piece, I absolutely would go for the Graflex. Based on the look alone, this is iconic. I don't know how else to describe it. One other thing that I do like, the little jewel here on the emitter, it also comes with a different jewel if you want to swap it out. So, gives it a little bit of a variety. So, yeah, I'm very happy with this one. Very happy that I picked it up. Very happy that Rebel Sabers was able to do the repair job on this one for me. If you've seen my other videos, you know that I originally had a problem with this one. The switch wasn't working right. There was something with the electronics. So they were able to do their magic and send this one back to me. I'll do a couple of fonts for the demo. I won't leave you hanging. So this is the General Kenobi.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi.
So that's Dooku. And the thing with Dooku is it doesn't turn on right away. It gives you a little bit of dialogue first.
Your swords, please. We don't want to make a mess of things in front of the Chancellor.
You won't get away this
Wait
time,
for it.
Dooku.
I think that's rather neat. It goes through the whole dialogue, and then when Dooku lights his up, the whole blade goes. So, that does handle nice. It really does. Let me find Ray's on here. There's something that this one does with Ray's sound font that you can't get with the regular inhalts. Hang on 1 second.
Empress Palpatine.
Okay, not that one. Hang on.
Ben Solo. Haven't done it, course. Ascension.
I'm right.
Okay. Some of these other fonts I haven't even heard of, but... So the thing with Ray's, keep your eyes right here. Okay? If you remember from Rise of Skywalker at the very end, she's got that dial blade, for lack of a better term. She dials the emitter and then it goes up. Keep your eye on here. Little touches like that I like. I can't help it. I am a nerd when it comes to this stuff, aren't we all? But, yeah. The other thing I like with this is each font has its own blade color. That's a nice little touch. But, again, you can change the color of the blade if you're not happy with it. So. Alright. That's going to do it for this video. If I go through all the fonts in one video, this one's going to run too long, and I'm trying to keep them under a certain limit. But I will do a nighttime demonstration to really show the colors of this off. So be on the lookout for that. Until the next video, whenever that... Oh, before I get to that... again, find me on Instagram. I'll leave my link in the description. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. This channel's starting to grow little by little every day, every week, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm having a ball doing all of this. And until I do see you in the next video, be good, be well, be safe, be happy.